Hey guys, Fastest Pass here. Thanks a lot for joining me. This video is number 4 in the series of the group interview with Pikes Peak. This time we're going to learn more about FanFest. We're going to learn a little bit more about the inside of the fans. And then also they're going to share some of the staggering statistics between what they have to do on race day to get ready in the days before, such as wrap how many hay bales. It's incredible how many they have to wrap. So check it out. So excited you guys could join me. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, get us out there. It is just over 6 weeks before we go to Pikes Peak. So tune in, check out the video. God bless you guys, love you guys.
They're as excited as any fan would ever be.
Yeah, and so it's part of the experience. And so, you know, I want to talk about the vetting process a little bit, right? You guys have a committee that vets the process. Let's talk about that. Number one, how is that structured? How does that work?
10 years ago, or 8 years ago even, and beyond that, the board and whatever would get the entries or the requests for invitations. And even when Megan started, they would come in and they would say, Randy, this is what we're racing. What do you think? You need to go through all these. And so then it finally started getting to this where we didn't have enough time. One year we ran like 250 competitors. Megan doesn't believe me, but we were done by 3 o'clock. No incidents, no anything.
That's a perfect day, bro.
It was a perfect day. No weather or anything. And you know, I talked to me. I said, I don't want to be responsible for this all on my own shoulders. And I was starting to get, you know, I built cars for it. I've been involved in the racing part of it with drivers and stuff, and I didn't think it was fair. So we actually put a committee together. We have a separate motorcycle committee, and obviously Dan and a couple other guys from the competition part are on that. I am not.
So what I hear is send Dan the hate mail.
So it started in 2016 where we decided we needed to limit the field to about 100 competitors. 67 cars, 33 motorcycles is the goal. So we said, okay, let's do that. How are we going to do that fairly? How are we going to do that knowing that we are going to have to turn away tons of people? And so that's what our office staff does from when registration opens November 15th until when it closes January 4th. We're making sure everybody provides all of the paperwork. Filling out the request for invitation isn't, we say, do it like you're applying for a job. As you know, you went through, it's a lot. You have to submit a resume, you have to submit your vehicle picture, and we require everybody to do it. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter. Everyone is treated the same. We work hard in the office to get everything ready for the selection committee for everyone to look at. And so we do, the 3 of us or the 4 of us typically meet and do a pre-screen and make sure basically that the vehicle that they've entered is in the proper division. And and this is even just before it even gets to the committee. So we do a ton in the office. We get everything ready. We give them giant packets. There's 7 people on the motorcycle committee, 7 people on the car committee, and it literally it flows really well. But it's a really strict selection process. It's take the NCAA tournament, and obviously not to that level, but there is discussions when there's teams on the bubble or things, and every single person on the committee has a different criteria of what might be important to them. So everyone has a voice, everyone has a vote. No one on staff is on the committee, and we do that on purpose because we're in charge of all the paperwork, and it's just a completely separate thing. And then Randy's not as well. So
catch that.
Dan, send it up to Dan.
It's all Dan, and I'll put his email at the bottom. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you.
Send it to Dan. No. The one thing I can say
I
about
told Randy, I didn't take this position to win a popularity.
Right. Yeah.
The one thing I will say about it, and I think anyone that's sitting and not on the committee would say it's a very fair process.
We do look at everything, so it is very important.
Extremely thorough.
And even if we have questions, we'll have the office reach back out and say, can you send us a little bit more racing info?
Yep.
Or whatever, because
We've actually sat there and it comes to we can't decide. I'll grab the phone, Megan will dial the number to the references. That's why we ask for references. We've actually sat at that table during that time and called references. We've actually called the competitor to verify this resume. Or we've called organizations for licenses on a race that you said you finished first off. We've called them. Again, you know,
So don't lie.
Yes,
Don't
lie.
lie.
So we've had that.
But brag. I did learn. You have to brag about yourself a little bit. That was a little weird for me.
Competitors don't lie.
Yeah. Sure.
They don't embellish anything.
So yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, and obviously, when the competitor list came out for me, I joke with everybody. I think I'm the only nobody on that list. I mean, those people have a lot of pedigree. A lot of us come from racing, and whether it's grassroots racing, like where I come from, local circuits, to let's bring up the name because everybody knows him and loves him. Travis, right? I mean, everybody knows him. He's a great guy. I've yet to meet anybody that has met him and said he's been a jerk. And so to see him come back to the mountain is great.
Oh yeah, because when he was back in the dirt days, like
Yeah.
resorts, and he came through and did a night stage that I don't want to talk about. We can talk about that some other time. That will never happen as long as I'm here. But just for your interest, and you can put this on social media or whatever, I got a call long before your entry ever came in from Andy.
Really?
There was 2 30, 45-minute calls, and we get a lot. Dan gets calls. I mean, from Ray Everingham, big name racers. He's probably got 4, 5, 6 hours just talking to people, calling them, what do I need to do, and we'll help you out as much as we can.
Yeah. Again, super excited. I feel honored, and I told Andy, I said, I just don't want to embarrass anybody. I don't want to embarrass your guys' committee and everything else. You just want to do what's right. But I also want to go up there as fast as I absolutely can.
And that was Ray's. As much as racing as Ray's done, that was his philosophy. He said he doesn't want to embarrass himself or in any way degrade the whole event.
Right.
So he was very conscientious about that. And he's a great guy. You're right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those, but we still like the rookies too. That's what
Have to have a rookie.
That's what keeps the event going. We got to get the younger, new generation to come into it, And we're having that discussion, Randy and I are spring chickens, we're sitting there trying to figure out what we're going to do to keep this event going for another 100 years.
Right. So, yeah, and that's what we all want to see, right? We want to, what it'll look like in 100 years, who knows, probably what I'll be driving will be in the antique class, right? That is cool to hear, and there is so much good that comes out of the race, not only for the spectators, but also the competitors. The number of interviews. One person I've never met him personally, David Donahue. That guy, just every interview you see with him, he's super just nice. And so David, if you're out there, feel free to contact me, give me some tips. But Jeff Sward's another one, right? You see these guys with history up on this hill. As you know, Bobby Unser, I would love to.
Any one of the big name drivers, you're all big name drivers on Mountain, but any one of them, once you're on Pikes Peak, another unique part about it, no problem just going over, and I haven't seen anybody really flush anybody off. They'll talk right to you. The fans can walk right through the pits and see, talk to the drivers, talk to the crew.
And that's what's really unique too for the fans, is it is one of the most fan-friendly motorsport events around. So, on race day, you can literally, if you're below the start line, you can walk through the pits, and the competitors are right there. And then I know we'll get to it, but this might be a good segue to FanFest. Do you want to talk about fan favorites? It is
Exactly.
a street festival that'll blow you away. So you can take it.
So Friday night before the race, I basically shut down all of downtown Colorado Springs. It's about 10 street blocks. We bring in the Red Bull street team, so they do motocross stunts over jumps. Competitors are there, sponsors are there, vendors are there, food trucks, about 30,000 people. So it is a great, it's a great great event to get that fan interaction. I've seen little girls, little kids sit in cars in the driver's seat, and there's smiles on their faces, autographs. That fan interaction is just huge.
And so FanFest starts at 5,
Yep.
right? Mountain time, right? And so 5 o'clock, come on down to Colorado Springs, downtown. They literally do shut it down.
It's free admission, so everything's free.
Can't beat that
Thanks
for
to
family.
our partners with Toyo Tires and Budweiser.
Budweiser, yeah.
There you
And then
go.
the motorcycle jumpers are brought to us by Sam and Kathy Guadagnoli, and they own like 6 of the bars that are downtown. And so it's really awesome that the motorcycle jumpers are right outside of their bars.
Yep,
And
they
so
jump across. Yep.
not only is it just perfect for all of the fans to be able to walk around, but all the local businesses in downtown Colorado Springs too. It's an awesome opportunity to check out our lovely city. It's great.
Yeah, a little bit different than a parade or something, but the businesses, you know, they really support it with these guys, and because they're not losing. I mean, we take all the parking from downtown, you know, so in one fact, you could say, well, they're losing all this business, but, you know, we try to.
There's a lot of people that come.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
30,000 people that are willing to invest in the community. So
Get
that's-
ready to sign. Get
Yeah, the
ready to
beer
sign
garden's
autographs.
not free though, the beer
Yeah,
garden.
beer
garden's not free. We got
That's
to
not
keep that
free,
here.
I don't want that.
But the excitement, the adrenaline, and BLC things is right, and so that's gonna
Right.
that's gonna bring in the families and BLC things. And what was the name of the family that sponsors the jumpers?
Well, it's our the Fan Fest is sponsored by Toyo Tires and Budweiser.
Okay, so there's your plug. Thank you.
Thank you. They're our presenting sponsors, and then Sam and Kathy Guadagnoli.
Guadagnoli.
They are the ones that provide the motorcycle jumpers.
Yep.
So thank you as well.
Yeah. So and they own the bars. They own a restaurant too, don't they?
They own quite a few businesses. They're
So-
long-standing history in the Pikes Peak region. Great business group to work with. Yeah, they're very helpful to us.
An Italian background, I'm assuming, given
Yeah.
the last name, so can't be bad
And
people.
we wouldn't, and again, it's back to the community. We wouldn't be able to put that on without them. And obviously without our sponsors, and again without the city of Colorado Springs allowing us to shut down 10 blocks.
It's a very large undertaking to shut everything down downtown.
And I don't know about Dan or myself, but I don't know, the years that we've done FanFest, I maybe have been to FanFest for 3 hours. And not saying that don't go, everybody needs to go, but I have over 100 people still on the mounting. We're still setting up course and we're still taking.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we got a race to put on.
Yeah.
We don't get to go have fun.
Yeah.
I'd be able to enjoy this.
No, I mean, that's what's so hard is the amount of work we have to do that we spend a year planning is really condensed. And so that's actually another, going back to the 2-day event thing, people are like, well, there's no way to physically pull off FanFest one night and then have a race start at 7:30 a.m. the next morning. So it's just things like that logistically that, Daniel he operates FanFest from start to finish, and then the very next morning,
He's with
we're
me.
all
Back on Pikes
back on Pikes Peak. We meet at 6:30 a.m. and it's the biggest setup day we have the entire year.
Right.
So it is very condensed, the amount of work we have to do.
And the teardown's the same thing. You know, we don't even,
I've never done it.
And
yeah, I don't even know what the awards banquet is. You know, 'cause we have to,
Oh man,
if you
yeah,
want to
we
run
thought
the
about
awards
that.
banquet,
Yeah,
I'll
we have-
cross trade you.
we have to get the mountain back to the Pikes Peak Highway
Yeah.
by like Wednesday of that
That's
following
by the 4th of
Wednesday. We have to have
July.
all
Everything
the
cleaned up.
straw bales off, the trash, everything's gotta be picked up
Fencing.
within 3 to 4 days of the event.
So, it'd be interesting. I can only imagine the amount of trips you guys take up and down that hill. And, I think of hay bales, like the first thing, I know there's a ton of hay bales. Like, I wonder how many tons of hay bales you guys bring in? Or,
Well, we've
Five.
cut it down. Actually, there was one year when I had 1,200.
There's only 500 this year.
oh, only 500.
And so we have to cover the hay bales because of regulation with the highway. So that
Enforcer.
the Forest Service that because otherwise they're worried about the wildlife eating it.
So we have to have certified hay bales
certified hay
Yep.
bales.
that are $3 more.
All the things.
Perfect.
So we have all these things. So insurance goes up. You have people trying to sue you. All these things, but yet you're able to still continue, which is a great thing. 500 hay bales you have to cover.
Right.
So I'm sure.
And load and unload,
Volunteers.
so,
And do that
any of
during the week.
those strong, maybe high school football teams from the Midwest that wanna come out and buck hay, feel free
We
to
know
bust them
how
out.
to do it in the Midwest, so you guys.
In all honesty, we always are looking for kind of day of stand-in volunteers. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how to sign up if they're interested?
Yeah, so year round, we're about a staff of about 4 to 5 in the office. Come the month of June, we turn into a staff of about 500-600. That large of a difference primarily comes from volunteers. Our race officials are volunteers, our course workers are volunteers, but then we also have very key roles that help us with operations. And those volunteers are detrimental. I mean, or not detrimental, they're like essential to the race. Without them, it would be detrimental. And they help with hay bales, they help with FanFest, they help with tech inspection, all aspects. And we have a registration link on our website, PPIHC.org. They sign up, they get a shirt, they get a credential, and
Some goodies this year.
Some goodies,
Some
yeah.
goodies this year.
We get some goodies, and it's just a great, fun environment. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
And so basically what we're saying is if you're sitting there and you think you want to spend time in a beautiful mountain area, breaking your back, come do it. So there's 500 bales that need to be moved. There's trash cans. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff, but it's volunteers that help make it work. PPIHC. Go to the website. There's a link to volunteer. We'll run it on the bottom of this video. Send it in. See if you can help out and become part of this
Team.
historical race in the team.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
As we continue on here, you know, we've covered a lot and we're getting there, but there's a few things that I've had some questions from people who've seen the videos, like practice. Can spectators